RCS. Ah, man. Everybody hyped it up. Everybody said it was going to be the biggest change to Android. It said we were finally going to compete. That's them, not me. We were finally going to compete with Apple with iMessage versus RCS. And then RCS arrived and really wasn't that significant, but it was definitely a game changer. But it kind of shocks me how people forget that that came out 2 years ago, in 2018. And it took Google 2 full years before they decided to finally turn it on. Also for Samsung as well. But a lot of people always watch my videos and say, hey, but you're lying, I got RCS. Why are you talking about it? Oh, wait, it's not happening, I've heard this before. Well, it's simple. Google isn't making it a big priority. And as long as Google doesn't push this matter to the manufacturers, not the carriers, RCS won't be an iMessage game changer. The only way it will really be a game changer is if Google pushes it, meaning not through their Messages app, but lets other OEMs get their hands on it. They did start with Samsung, but you could see Samsung really didn't care because they finally are waiting till now. OnePlus don't really know what they're doing. Huawei, Oppo, Vivo, all the big manufacturers, they really haven't done their own thing. Maybe they have. I mean, I haven't followed that much, but I can tell you this much. I haven't seen many users use RCS. Me and probably a handful of others are the only ones that do use it. And that's why I say it's not a game changer, because not many people are using it. It's not set on by default. You have to manually turn it on. A lot of people aren't aware about it because they're not being informed about it. Most people don't talk about it. I've made so many videos trying to get you guys to know about RCS so that way you can use it and turn it on. But in 2 years, Google has had to rely on the carriers, and then they decided we're not going to rely on them anymore. We're going to release it in our app, and still, most people still aren't even using it. Then the carriers try to make their own profile. They try to do their own thing. They eventually said, you know what, we're not going to do that. Let's just do the Google route. But I don't understand why the carriers need to have a say in this. Look at how Apple has done it. See, this is why I think Google has it all messed up. As long as you keep relying on T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, RCS will never be in the hands of the users. You should be allowing the OEMs to handle it, like Samsung, Oppo, all the other major companies. Look at it in this perspective. T-Mobile and Verizon had advanced messages. They weren't cross-platform. With Google, if you use the Google Messages app and you enable it, you can use it. You don't got to worry about the carriers. That's how it should be. But because you use the carriers to carry this thing, makes a problem for two people, the consumers and Google themselves. The problem is also that they're still behind. Look at how iMessage has advanced with gaming, end-to-end encryption, being able to have group chats with iMessage. Google is still working on those things, but this wouldn't have been an issue if they had just started when they announced it. People weren't asking for it, so because people weren't asking for it, they didn't release it. But you can't blame the people because they didn't know about it. You chose to wait. So that's why RCS isn't a game changer and why so many people haven't used it or are not wanting to make the switch. Some people like Samsung Messages. Some people like the pre-installed Messages app in OnePlus, from what I hear. And as long as that happens, RCS won't become a thing. Now, I will say, in order for it to be a game changer and to really shake it up, it has to be done through Google. Google has to push this, mandate the companies to put in the profile. Look at what Samsung's finally doing. They're enabling it for most of their devices. They're still in the process, but eventually they will have all RCS devices. So at least Samsung is taking an initiative to try and get this thing rolled out. T-Mobile announced that they will adopt the Google platform and allow for cross-platform compatibility, so cross-network. However, you will have to use Google Messages. Eventually, Samsung will get there. But I think at the end of the day, the only way RCS will become a game changer is if Google goes away from the carriers and just pushes this issue with the OEM manufacturers. They need to tell Samsung, OnePlus, they need to tell all of the major manufacturers, even Sony and other companies, well, Sony uses their Messages app, but the point is, they need to stop relying on the carriers and be independent, just like how Apple is with iMessage. But as long as they aren't, and as long as they keep waiting and procrastinating this push, RCS will never be at the pinnacle at what you think. And that's disappointing to say because I actually enjoy RCS and I see a lot of potential. It's nice that you could finally send messages over the internet. You could send larger files, videos. It's nice, but waiting for it for 2 years was too long. In that time, Apple kind of really upped iMessage, and that's why most people don't switch from iPhone, because iMessage is really the best. I still use it, even with Android. Not on my phone, of course, with iPad. But I think overall, it would be nice if Google would stop relying on others and just do it themselves. Just like if they had relied on themselves pushing the software updates instead of waiting for carrier approval. That was the biggest mistake they could have ever done. And because of that, your phones will probably have to be a month or two behind before you see a security patch. But again, only way RCS will be a game changer is if Google addresses this head first, like they are starting to do now, but they don't allow the carriers to involve. This has got to be through them. Because if they do that, only then will it be a game changer.